Hi everyone, I'm Trisha.
And I'm Anusha, and we are so excited for today's segment about how to combat peer pressure with the golden rule.
Peer pressure burdens teenagers in big ways, but also through small, subtle interactions.
Being aware of your surrounding and respecting other people's boundaries are essential to decrease the prevalence of peer pressure.
Through the golden rule, we can all learn how to be aware and considerate of everyone's limits.
I think there are several examples of peer pressure. I think girls and guys especially face a lot of peer pressure when it comes to body image and looking a certain way. The media definitely represents a certain body standard and beauty standard for both girls and guys, whether it's being excessively thin or being excessively muscular to the point where it's just unrealistic for the average person. And I think, however, the average person does face a lot of peer pressure to look that way and abide by those standards.
An example of bad peer pressure would be your friends encouraging you to drink alcohol, do illegal actions, or other things that could ruin your daily life. An example of good peer pressure is making habits that can help your life, helping you academically by encouraging you to study and more.
So I think there are a lot of different types of peer pressure. So specifically as a high school student, I feel like when you're part of a big group, you start to lose, more of your own morals. And I think the biggest thing that I've seen is students influencing each other to fight or bully other kids, as well as cheating on tests and other things like that.
An example of peer pressure I have experienced in my life is when my friends would make me stay up late at night, even if I had a test due the next day or homework to finish that was due the next day. Another example of peer pressure is how my friends would always encourage me to get higher grades so we could all study together and do all these other things.
Living in a very competitive atmosphere, both academically and athletically, I'm surrounded by people who take a lot of pride in their accomplishments through both avenues. So as a result, my environment is extremely competitive. And as a result, I think I've definitely been peer pressured into putting a lot of time into my achievements and sometimes sacrificing my mental and physical health because that's just what everyone around me is doing.
So since I was little, I've played soccer. So I've always been a part of a very competitive athletic environment. And I think the biggest way that I've been peer pressured is, playing through injuries specifically. So there was a point in time where I tore 3 ligaments in 6 different parts of my ankle, and I was peer pressured into playing through that injury for a couple of months. And because of that, I've acquired a lot of long-term injuries on both my ankles and my knees.
The golden rule can be used to handle instances of peer pressure civilly and kindly because the first thing it preaches is empathy. It teaches people to be compassionate of others and their situations, which makes instances of peer pressure significantly less likely to happen. I think the golden rule can also help the people peer pressuring others to understand their victim's point of view and hopefully prevent it from happening again.
So I think that, especially if you're one of those people that is in a role where you peer pressure others, I think that the biggest thing that you can do is, take a moment before you say something or before you, interact with someone else. Take a moment and really think about what you're doing, and think about how, someone else was saying the same exact thing to you, how that would make you feel and how you would act in response to that. So I think that, taking that moment before you say something or interact with someone, I think that's the key part to, treating others how you want to be treated. And that's the best way to prevent peer pressure.
To have a civil conversation with somebody, you need to understand where that person is coming from. We all have our own beliefs and ideas. Imagine you were talking to somebody and they randomly came up to you and told you that your beliefs and ideas were wrong. You would probably feel confused and very furious about it. We need to show respect and empathy for the person we're talking to because you need to understand where that person is coming from. We should always show empathy while speaking and respect for others.
Our interviews today display the importance of the golden rule in social interaction.
Empathy allows you to see the motives behind peer pressure so that you can become more aware in the future.
Additionally, understanding the struggles of those who are being pressured will help create more positive environments.
We encourage you to be respectful, uplift others, and live golden.